City of Fort Lauderdale Charter Officers. City Manager Greg Chavarria. Interim City Attorney Dwayne Spence. City Auditor Pat Riley. And City Clerk David Solomon. Please welcome our Fort Lauderdale City Commission. Representing District 3, Vice Mayor Pamela Beasley Pittman. District 1 Commissioner John C. Herbst. District 2 Commissioner Stephen Glassman. And District 4 Commissioner Warren Sturman. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our mayor, Dean Trantalis.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. At this time, as we begin our program, I'd like to ask you to please rise for the presentation of colors by the Fort Lauderdale Police Department Honor Guard. Please remain standing, and let's welcome to the stage Amber Cabrera, who's our assistant city manager, or assistant to the city manager, who will take the stage and sing our national anthem. Amber.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home
Phew! I ask you to please remain standing, and now I would like to ask the honor guard that you may now be dismissed. Now, at this moment, I'd like to invite the Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins of the Sunshine Cathedral to take the stage for the invocation. Dr. Watkins.
Would you please join me in the spirit of prayer? In the name of all that we hold sacred, let us lift our hearts in gratitude for our city, our various communities, our mayor and city leaders, and all who promote the common good. We ask blessings upon our city, and we appreciate those who dedicate themselves to its well-being. We bless this gathering and all opportunities to hear, learn, and participate in municipal governance. May our city continue to thrive. May our residents be well and happy. May our neighborhoods be safe. May our businesses flourish. May those who struggle find compassion and opportunity. And where any of us see the need for improvement, let us agree to become part of the solution. Now, in the moments that follow, may a spirit of unity and concord move among us. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Watkins. So please be seated, and let's take a moment and just take this moment and thank the Parker for this beautiful facility tonight. They have graciously been our commission home for the past several months. And don't let our performance be the only one you see tonight. You should come here again. There's some wonderful, wonderful events and celebrities who come here, and it's just a great facility. And our hats off to Kelly Shanley and his team for the great programming that he has brought to our community. So it is now my privilege to recognize the other members of the City Commission and the City Administration who are here tonight. First, I'd like to, and please stand after I say your name. First, our Vice Mayor, Pamela Beasley Pittman. Commissioner John Herbst from District 1. Commissioner Stephen Glassman from District 2. I see he brought his fan club with him tonight. And Commissioner of District 4, Dr. Warren Sturman. I also would like to introduce several members of our senior staff, our city manager, the great Greg Chevarria, our interim city attorney, Dwayne Spence, our city clerk, David Solomon, and our city auditor, Patrick Riley. Let's give it up for everybody. So, this past year has been one of great challenges and great successes. We overcame some unexpected adversities, while the accomplishments we've made will help ensure that Fort Lauderdale is a resilient community for decades to come, and a city known internationally as a tremendous place to live, work, or visit. It's a city you never want to leave. Let us talk about that massive rainstorm in April and the ensuing flood that tested our mettle. In the face of tragedy and suffering, a can-do attitude showed through. This indomitable spirit was there during the early rescue efforts, continued through the cleanup, and lasted into the rebuilding stage. Neighbor helped neighbor. Other cities, agencies, and charities lent assistance, and our partners in federal and state government quickly provided relief for residents and businesses. The scope of this sudden disaster was without precedent, let's face it. We were inundated with 26 inches of rain in about 5 hours, something that's considered a once-in-a-thousand-year occurrence. That's 88 billion gallons of rain, more water than would fill 134,000 Olympic pools. No community anywhere in the world is prepared to face something of that magnitude. However, Fort Lauderdale is resilient. During the storm and the hours shortly afterward, the city responded to some 10,000 calls for service. Our emergency response teams rescued or relocated more than 900 people. There was no loss of life, thank goodness, and these heroic efforts we can never thank them enough. A monumental cleanup effort ensued. At the peak, we had 36 vacuum and pump trucks cleaning flooded streets. We used our own equipment as well as assets from private contractors and 18 nearby cities. We put the focus on those most in need, the low-lying areas that were extremely flooded. This include Edgewood, River Oaks, Melrose Manors, Melrose Park, Durs, and Dorsey Riverbend. I want to thank our city staff who put in long hours during that time in service of residents to the people of Fort Lauderdale. Thank you from the bottom of our heart, and I'd also like to acknowledge all the residents who stepped up to the moment. So we have a treat tonight. One remarkable instance of neighborly help stood out. Will John, Daniel, Jennifer, and Sarah, the Foreman family, Tony and Maggie Schreiber, Max Enriquez, Tiago Lima, and Kian Billings please come to the stage? During the storm, these young folks first vacated their neighborhood but raced back, knowing that they needed to help others. Using high water vehicles and canoes and with the assistance of other family members and friends, they rescued some 20 people, including an 80-year-old woman and an elderly couple well into their 70s. In recognition, these are our heroes, ladies and gentlemen. And in recognition, we are presenting them each with a proclamation of appreciation, and I think the community stands before you and says thank you once again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our future is in good hands, wouldn't you say? The city manager and I knew that we had to quickly obtain disaster assistance so people could rebuild. He and I flew to Washington and persuaded the Biden administration to expedite the president signing a disaster declaration. And let me tell you, it was no easy feat. What normally would have taken weeks for a FEMA response, we achieved that day. As a result of a highly coordinated effort between the city and FEMA, more than 5,500 households received as much as $31 million in individual federal assistance, and through the Flood Assistance Program, over $100 million was processed through FEMA. With the help of the American Red Cross, we sheltered those who were left homeless. We also opened comfort stations where people could obtain water and food or use a restroom and a shower. The city stepped forward to provide financial relief as well. We started a program that lowered the cost of repair work by covering construction permit fees. It was our duty to offer a helping hand when so many of our residents faced an uncertain future. That's what being a compassionate community is about. Let's take a minute and look at the great storm recovery efforts of our city workforce.
Hi, I'm Park Ranger Robert Kinn at Shirley Smalls Park at the Comfort Station. Let me show you around. Hello, ma'am. How are you today? What can I help you with today? I've been here since Saturday, and I've seen people's pictures of their homes. I listened to their stories, and it honestly breaks my heart. This is why I will not take a day off until I'm completely exhausted. I'm here to help every citizen as much as possible. We have 12 more pallets to give out. Take some more water. Okay. We're here for you. Okay. A strong city sticks together, right? My dad always says a strong community is one that comes together when disaster hits, and that's what we got here. Well, sir, ma'am, we're here for you. Okay. We'll be here all week, okay? Whenever there's a city emergency, it's all hands on deck situation. We have everyone from the top down, from finance, city manager's office, commissioner's office. We're all here for you. The city of Fort Lauderdale is committed to helping every one of our neighbors, and this is why we are FTL.
Isn't that amazing? Let's give our public work crews another round of applause. Our first responders, our firefighters, our police officers. While the events of April were unprecedented, such natural disasters are becoming too common as our global climate changes and tests us. Fort Lauderdale is on the front lines as a low-lying coastal community in the tropics. Experts expect sea levels to rise between 21 and 40 inches in less than half century. Tides already flood some of the lowest parts of our city monthly, as we experienced as recently as last week. Areas once considered safe from flooding are increasingly vulnerable. That's why I think it is incumbent upon us to redouble our commitment to build and maintain a strong and long-lasting infrastructure. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce a new initiative to do just that. After multiple conversations with myself and the rest of the City Commission, the City Manager has developed a plan that greatly accelerates critical infrastructure work to make us a more resilient community, resilient against flooding and the impacts of climate change. We're calling it Fortify Lauderdale. Over the next decade, Fortify Lauderdale will invest up to $500 million in stormwater infrastructure construction in more than 17 neighborhoods. This is more than twice the number we planned to do originally, and we will finish design and construction of these improvements in less than 10 years. This is the most aggressive resiliency effort underway in our state, maybe our nation. It is what we need to do to protect our residents. Public Works engineers are engaged in a vulnerability assessment to identify and prioritize our greatest risks in this new program. The structure will be supplemented by a companion program that will assist residents with information on how they can better protect their homes and their property. Fortify Lauderdale will be in addition to the extensive work already underway, in which we are investing $200 million in 8 neighborhoods to address tidal flooding and stormwater runoff. So allow me to take a moment to update you on these efforts. We're installing more tidal control valves, drainage pipes, building new outfall connections and drainage structures, creating new catch basins, raising seawalls, rebuilding swales, and constructing stormwater reserves. In the Edgewood and River Oaks areas, construction work is almost complete. The last piece, the pump stations, will be completed at the end of next year. The River Oaks Stormwater Preserve, for instance, has already opened. In the Melrose Manors and Riverland neighborhoods, the city is fast-tracking a drainage network designed to reduce the duration and the intensity of flooding. Another part of the ongoing resiliency work is the improvement to city seawalls. We've built new seawalls at Hendricks Isle and have embarked on similar projects in Merle Fogg Park, Southeast 10th Street, and East Las Olas Boulevard. Some of these seawalls were 50 years old and in poor condition. The new ones are higher and stronger and will reduce flooding in low-lying areas. We've also asked property owners to do their part. The Commission adopted new standards for the minimum height of seawalls, and this will broaden our protection against flooding. Resiliency, as we all know, is important, but it can't break the banks of our residents. The city is doing its part. Our infrastructure resiliency program would have cost residents more if not for the sound financial management of the city. The AAA credit rating that we have achieved is saving us millions of dollars through lower interest rates. But we need to see action from the state. Those in state government can keep talking about property insurance reform, but the bills for our residents continue to increase. Do they not? So I call upon the governor and the legislature to take action. With communities investing significantly in measures to better protect our property, the state needs to make insurance companies reflect that in their rates. We're becoming resilient, and we should not have to pay for those communities that aren't. In addition to improved resiliency, the city also is committed to a long-term plan to improve our water and sewer infrastructure. Like many American cities, Fort Lauderdale for too long failed to invest adequately in repairing or replacing aging pipes and infrastructure systems. We suffered the consequences and have spent the last several years catching up. We will continue that course with a commitment to issue another $200 million in infrastructure bonds this fiscal year. Projects underway include a new wastewater pump in Flagler Village and a new pump station south of the New River downtown. We are improving our sewer system to prevent groundwater infiltration. In January, we finished construction of a critical new processing system at the George T. Lohmeyer wastewater treatment plant. We are in the process of procuring contractors to rehabilitate the 54-inch main between the Lohmeyer plant and our well field, as well as wastewater mains in the Coral Ridge Country Club neighborhood. Our largest project in the works is the new water treatment plant. We expect to break ground within the next month and be operational by 2026. Let's clap to that. This plant is of critical importance, we all know. It's not just about getting clear water. I know we've been suffering with yellow or green water. The current 5-ash plant has just reached its end of useful life, 70 years, wow. It required extensive upgrades, would not withstand the impact of a major hurricane, and could not provide our community with the clear drinking water that residents demand. We did not enter this decision rashly. The city diligently researched options for repairing 5-ash and investigated what type of treatment system made the most sense. We landed on a public-private partnership. Through this remarkable arrangement, we are harnessing the talent of world-renowned experts to handle construction and operations. What we are doing is so innovative that the project is in line for a national award as one of the best P3 projects of the year, nationally. Let's all be there to cut the ribbon and once the facility is finally built and taking us into the 21st century. Climate change and infrastructure are not the only challenges we face as a city. As a community that is rapidly growing, one significant issue is our transportation system. We need to find ways to reduce congestion. We've been working hard in support of plans to build a commuter rail system linking communities between Miami and West Palm Beach. This would expand on the current Brightline service. Commuter rail would be a true game changer for the region, relieving congestion on Interstate 95 and other north-south roads. It would provide convenient and frequent service between many of our downtowns. Miami-Dade and Broward counties are so far committed to building this system from downtown Miami to the southern edge of Fort Lauderdale, right near Broward Health Hospital. As that occurs, we continue to narrow in on the best method for trying to cross over the New River to extend the project northward. So you probably have all heard about the New River and how complicated this issue is. It not only involves ensuring the movement of passenger freight trains, but also meeting the needs of the maritime traffic. The New River, the business upstream, the billion-dollar industry that we rely upon. State and county officials have long favored building a high-rise bridge right through the middle of our city. While the City Commission is on record in supporting a tunnel, in the spirit of compromise, we've tried to engage in discussions, working with the county and the state, trying to figure out how we can come up with a compromise version. Unfortunately, every compromise we sought didn't suit the needs of all the stakeholders. The marine industry was against them, FDOT was against them, the county was against it. So we decided, let's face it, the tunnel remains the only viable answer, right? Why is that the only viable answer? Because so much has been invested in our downtown. So many people have moved downtown. So much has focused on the rebuilding of an area that has long since remained dormant. And today we see the opportunity to revitalize a downtown area through all the private development that has taken place there. To build a train bridge through the middle would crush our efforts in trying to create this downtown. And let's face it, that track has never been good for Fort Lauderdale. Why? Because it has divided our communities. It is those who live on this side of the tracks and the other side of the tracks. And a bridge would perpetuate long-standing racial divisions. We should not build a permanent divide separating communities, but rather find ways to heal differences and bring communities together, right? So I have good news to share. We've now teamed up with a group of international firms to put plans together for a cost-efficient tunnel. And we've received support in this endeavor from Brightline, from Florida East Coast Industries, and Fortress, their parent company. These are the three firms largely in control of the rail corridor and are now at the table to help us make the tunnel a reality. We are moving ahead. Now, just to remind us, we only have a short window in which we can obtain critical funding from the Biden administration's infrastructure program. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and Presidential Advisor Mitch Landrieu have assured us that they will help us navigate the federal system for funding when we are ready. So we are ready, and we need to have this done, right? I also have some other great news. The U.S. Department of Transportation has awarded the city $1 million to advance the studies that will show the benefits of constructing a tunnel, to show how connecting communities and eliminating the divisions of the past are all part of this undertaking. But our transportation plans do not stop with commuter rail. We eagerly await the county to begin construction of a bypass road through Port Everglades to relieve traffic on Southeast 17th Street. They promised this road, and they sought this city's permission to build a convention center. And darn it, we're going to see that bypass road, right? We're also working with the state on plans to improve traffic flow on Sunrise between Searstown and the Gateway intersection. And our idea of bringing congestion relief to downtown by building a loop of one-way streets using Andrews and 3rd Avenue is finally in the feasibility stage with the Regional Transportation Agency. This is going to be a game changer. This one-way pairing, a lane, would be dedicated for a 21st century people mover, hopefully autonomous, to ease congestion downtown. No rails, no overhead wires, like an old-fashioned streetcar would operate, just pure convenience. We are also expanding our micro-mobility initiative with Circuit to offer convenient door-to-door service, building on successful pilots downtown and on the beach. We are now serving residents in District 3 and North in District 1 as well. Let me pause so we can watch a short video of the great service that Circuit is providing.
Looking for a fun way to get around the beach and free? Check this out. An eco-friendly steel on wheels. The electric-powered, emission-reducing micromover powered by Circuit, a pilot program offering free rides thanks to a new collaboration and some innovation with the city of Fort Lauderdale.
Well, the city are really the ones who help support Circuit and help make it possible.
Ridership has doubled since July, with more than 11,000 people catching a ride on the micromover in just October.
We saw the micromovers, so we decided to flag one, and it's great service.
Have fun!
You can catch one of the city's 8 electric vehicles 7 days a week by downloading the Ride Circuit app on Google Play or the App Store, or go to fortlauderdale.gov/micromover for more information.
I'm Arlene Borenstein, and we are FTL.
Yes, we are keeping Fort Lauderdale moving. So let's talk about education, another challenge. It's difficult for one to address because classroom instruction falls under the authority of the county school board, right? Broward County School District is a huge bureaucracy with interests spanning an area of almost 2 million residents. But as city officials, we interact daily with our neighborhoods and hear of unaddressed concerns and overlooked needs. Too often, parents complain about the quality of education. And too often, prospective businesses raise the same issue. How is your education system in your city? I think the time has come for us to engage in a frank discussion in Fort Lauderdale about the future of education. We should look at options that some once would have considered radical, such as the city taking more of a leadership role in expanding school options. I met recently with the leadership of Pembroke Pines, Broward's second largest city. We learned about how they took education in a different direction. Decades ago, they launched their own charter school system, first starting with an elementary school and then expanding to middle and high schools. They now operate 8 schools independent of the county and serve 6,000 students with another 6,000 on a waiting list. U.S. News and World Report listed Pines High School as one of the nation's best high schools, and the entire Pines system was named a school of excellence by the Florida Department of Education. They have managed to do this with no investment of city tax dollars. Rather, they have relied exclusively on education money that the state allows to be shifted to charter schools. And recent changes in state law will allow more of that revenue to be spent on initiatives like one in Pines. It's worth a conversation. With the current parameters, Fort Lauderdale is doing its utmost to improve education. For the third consecutive year, the city has implemented its summer enrichment program. The city has helped more than 2,000 children and teens master new skills in reading and math. In recognition of the city's success, the Florida Department of Education has committed $700,000 to expand the program year-round. To promote literacy, the city once again partnered with the Barbara Bush Foundation on the Book Explorers Reading Program. The program expanded to 3 new sites this past year. The city has also offered to help 3 underperforming schools through a pilot initiative called Community Action Partnerships for Education. The effort increased school-based volunteers, parental engagement, wraparound family support, and donation drives. Finally, we've partnered with Broward College to expand access to post-secondary education and workforce training in underrepresented communities. Let me next turn to public safety. Public safety is a primary and important responsibility of our city. In June, we broke ground on a new police headquarters. Finally, right? It will have sufficient space for our police force and will be equipped with state-of-the-art technology and resources to help in our crime-fighting efforts. The old station was woefully out of date and in poor physical condition. Fortunately, voters recognized the need and approved the bond issue to build the new headquarters. The construction schedule calls for it to open in 2025. Let's all hope to be there at the ribbon cutting. The City Commission well recognizes that crime, both nationally and locally, is a growing public concern. So, last month, the City Commission increased the size of the police force for the 2nd year in a row. We have now added a total of 35 officers, 14 officers in this new fiscal year and 21 in last fiscal year. Once hired, these recruits will allow us to add patrols, respond better to calls for help, and ensure our streets are safe. At the same time, we are expanding coverage in the area of the ShotSpotter program. This innovative technology detects the location of gunfire and directs responses by officers. It's amazing how this program works. We're also building a full-service substation in the YMCA on Sistrunk Boulevard. And we are advancing our partnership with other law enforcement agencies to increase crime clearance rates by sharing violent crime intelligence information through the processing of bullet shell casings into a national database. Over the past year, we reassigned officers to create a new community support unit to address neighborhood concerns. We also implemented a high-tech camera system that has enhanced the documentation of crime scenes so investigators and juries can virtually place themselves in the location. Pretty cool, huh? And we placed tactical analysts in our real-time crime center to better relay pertinent information to responding officers. At the fire department, we are finally nearing the end of the long effort to upgrade our stations and add new ones. We have built or replaced 11 stations. Only 1 station is left to be completed from the fire bond program. Construction of a temporary substation 13 on the barrier island should be finished by the end of the year. The new station at Birch State Park is being designed and construction will start early next year. Finally happening, right? We also expect to complete the rehabilitation of Station 54 off of Oakland Park Boulevard within the next couple of weeks. The construction of Emergency Medical Substation 88 south of the New River will be completed by 2025. Work will start soon on the privately owned Heron Garage off Las Olas Boulevard with space for city EMS and fire services. This new facility will boost service to the east side of downtown, Victoria Park, and Las Olas Isles. Finally, folks, right? As with the police department, we have been beefing up the staff of the fire rescue department. We have increased the department's personnel by 26 positions over the last 2 years, 10 in this particular fiscal year and 16 in last fiscal year. With this year's budget, we will be able to increase the number of rescue units staffed by 3 firefighters. This is important because it allows the fire engines to operate separately from the rescue unit. As a result, the fire engine can respond to a fire call while the rescue unit is on another call. Certainly saves a lot of time and effort. Like many growing areas, South Florida is facing a crisis with the twin issues of housing affordability and homelessness. Fort Lauderdale has long been committed to doing as much as possible to ensure we have a housing stock that supports families of all levels of income. Frankly, our city is leading the way in the region. Just last month, 7th on 7th opened with 72 units of affordable housing, having relied on the city to bridge a funding gap. Over the past year, we approved financial incentives for affordable housing projects being built by New Hope Church, Broward Housing Solutions, and Wright Dynasty. We also provided a combination of development waivers and financing to Gallery at Fat Village, a 16-story affordable housing project. We opened the Housing Authority's new Poinciana Crossing Complex and broke ground on the Adderley, which was made possible by a $12 million city loan. But that's never enough. We must do more. So just yesterday, we adopted an innovative proposal that was suggested to us on how to incentivize even more projects. The best approach to homelessness, that the problems associated with it confounds every metro area. There are no easy solutions, and we need all help as much as we can from all levels of government in order to accomplish this goal. But folks, Fort Lauderdale is leading. Each day, the city's dedicated homeless outreach team make it their mission to engage with homeless population and encourage them to accept help. This help can include financial resources, social services, and housing opportunities. These teams focus attention on high-traffic areas such as the library and the bus station downtown, the Galt, the Gateway section on Sunrise, and the intersection at 17th Street and Federal Highway. The city uses local tax dollars as well as federal and state aid to place individuals in temporary housing and provide them with services to address the root causes of their homelessness. We have also a highly regarded community court program. I want to thank the Broward County court system and the Judge Barner, and the Chief Judge for all of their efforts in continuing this program going forward. The community court program diverts homeless individuals charged with minor offenses into temporary housing and connects them to the vital services they need, whether it be medical attention, whether it be addiction treatment, whether it be mental health services. We are there to help people. The city is increasing the number of police officers assigned full-time to homeless outreach. And in the new budget, we doubled the money for our housing navigation program. This is a unique collaboration with the Task Force for Ending Homelessness to reduce the number of displaced persons. In its first 3 months, it achieved a 60% success rate at individuals accepting housing placement. We have a video showing how our teams work in action.
The Task Force for Ending Homelessness, what we do here is we help navigate those people experiencing homelessness through the system until they're placed into a place. So part of what we do is street outreach, as you can see. We're going to head over to one of our hot spots right now. I did grow up in Fort Lauderdale. I love the area. I love the neighborhood, the people here. Hello. Miss Colette, where you been? I build great bonds. I meet a lot of people. I get to learn a lot of new things about people. Homelessness doesn't discriminate. So it could be someone today, it could be me tomorrow, and to know that I can help the person get to the next level is fulfilling. So Task Force was founded right here in Fort Lauderdale. Officer Scott Russell, who later retired as a BSO captain, founded the first outreach team, along with his partner Courtney, who had experienced homelessness himself on the streets in the city. We create a superior level of trust among residents experiencing homelessness, which enables us to successfully help thousands of people safely exit homelessness. The Task Force Fort Lauderdale program has so many goals. Some of those goals may include getting our neighbors experiencing homelessness in the city of Fort Lauderdale off the street through solution-focused outreach services and placement in a housing program that will help them get home. Working with people on the streets, I have so many memorable achievements. One of my favorite memories was working with a family of 3, a mom and 2 kids, which the younger son was autistic. The family was sleeping in the car. They were in a really bad situation. They had lost their home. We received a call from the FL HOT team, and we came out immediately to intervene. Some of the critical actions we may take is simple as taking a client to the DMV to get a new ID or Social Security office to replace documents that may have been stolen out on the streets. Also help them gather all documents needed for housing. The reason I think the Task Force Fort Lauderdale program is different because we meet the clients directly where they are. We're motivated, and we pretty much follow them all the way through until they're into a home.
Sounds to me like once you get a key to an apartment, you're going to have a lot of your problems solved.
And we were able to actually get him housed last year. But yeah, he's housed and he's still living in his home. He's happy. I believe from the last update I had, he was doing some part-time side gig of work as well. That's a great success story.
Let's thank them for the work that they are doing to improve our community. This is amazing. But our efforts don't stop there. After a long court delay, we have begun enforcement of our new ordinance that prohibits individuals from standing in the middle of the streets and obstructing traffic, a move that should finally respond to public concerns about unsafe and aggressive panhandling. The court system declared that our old ordinance was unconstitutional, bringing enforcement to a lengthy but albeit temporary halt. City manager and I have also been meeting with regional judicial and law enforcement officials about certain court issues that contribute to those living on our streets. Matters like how inmates are released from jail are complicated and require regional solutions, but we hope to continue these conversations, and we hope that they will bear fruit. So let's now turn to our environment. One of the main reasons people are drawn to South Florida is the environment. Our beautiful weather, our tropical climate, our beautiful beaches, our charming waterways, and the Everglades. We must be good stewards of our surroundings so future generations can enjoy what we have. This is why we have encouraged initiatives to ensure clean waterways. Over the past year, we completed dredging projects in the Tarpon River and Himmershey Canal to address sediment from the 2019-2020 sewer breaks. We've also installed aerators to improve water quality, and we have increased waterway patrols by code enforcement officers. This coming fiscal year, we are undertaking a comprehensive assessment of impaired waterways. It will spend almost $400,000 on canal cleaning. 2024 will also mark the third year our program to monitor and publicize the levels of contaminants in the waterways. The city's commitment to the environment showed through this past year when we were awarded, as a city, the LEED certification, the gold level for the entire city of Fort Lauderdale. We are one of the only few cities in Florida to accomplish that. And we achieved this as a result of programs such as those to protect sea turtles, find natural solutions for the abundance of sargassum seaweed, provide access to green and natural spaces, and reduce the city's carbon footprint. Let's take a moment and look at this video about this remarkable achievement.
The city of Fort Lauderdale is proud to announce that we are now a LEED Gold certified city. So what does that mean? Some of the highlights include our green spaces. 80% of our residents are just a 10-minute walk from a park. Our low carbon economy. Fort Lauderdale is not dependent on the burning of fossil fuels. We're actively engaging in regional planning efforts to combat climate change. And we received the highest marks for our resiliency planning and how we're preparing for future conditions. We're actively protecting endangered species, like our sea turtles, with mapping and conservation efforts. We look for nature-based solutions. Our unique challenge with sargassum seaweed along our beach is being met with a solution that can also be used for the benefit of the city and its residents. We are resilient. We are sustainable. We are LEED Gold certified, and we are FTL.
Amazing, right? There's another challenge that we should discuss, and that is we no longer have City Hall. We are homeless too. Even before the April flooding, we were exploring the idea of building a new city hall. In any case, in light of the high cost of the needed renovations and the money spent on overflow office space, the flood ended any debate as it destroyed the building's electrical, HVAC, and the elevator systems. We moved to temporary space as we plan for the future, but we need neighbor input. So we have asked the Infrastructure Task Force to take the lead and begin a community discussion as to what type of building we need and its footprint and location. We need to be deliberate and think wisely as we plan for a city hall that will last for generations. While no one wants a Taj Mahal, we also should remember that a city hall is a testament to the community and should be something more than merely functional. While every city has its challenges, most cities do not have the track record of successes that has blessed us here in Fort Lauderdale. We are truly becoming one of the most desirable places in the nation to live, work, and visit. Did you know that livability ranked us as among the best places to live? Miami, Tampa, West Palm, and Jacksonville didn't even make the list. We were ahead of Orlando and cities such as Charleston, South Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina, that have long been considered excellent choices. To quote livability, with a motto of, quote, live where you vacation, Fort Lauderdale, Florida has a knack for turning tourists into residents. As one of the best places to live in the U.S., Fort Lauderdale is a diverse and cosmopolitan city with a 24-mile stretch of golden sand along the Atlantic Ocean, world-class restaurants and bars, plus 31 distinct neighborhoods. Don't we know it? We're also been inducted this year into the All-America City Hall of Fame, topping our previous prestigious recognition by the National Civic League as an All-America City back in 2014. They particularly cited our degree of community collaboration to get things done, noting the community effort to build the L.A. Lee YMCA Mizell Community Center. Let's give a round of applause for that. One factor in our city's rise in prominence is the incredible success of our downtown. Downtown has become one of these leading economic engines of Broward County, ranking alongside the port and the airport. It has an annual impact on the economy of $35.7 billion a year, up $6 billion in just 4 years. It's become a destination unto its own. More than 1,000 hotel rooms have been added to the downtown in the last 5 years, tripling the inventory and bringing a record number of visitors to our urban core. There are more new restaurants per mile in downtown Fort Lauderdale, more than in downtown Nashville, Atlanta, or Tampa. That is just amazing. It's only getting better, and we can make major investments to create new public spaces for the entire community to enjoy. It will be a network of downtown parks that will rival any other city in the country. We expect the Tunnel Top Park to be completed by the end of this year, God willing. Pastor Watkins, can you say a prayer for that too? We will then begin installing artwork we are purchasing to make the park a unique feature of the city. We were fortunate to receive a $5 million bequest from a gentleman named James Laird, a man who deeply loved our city and wanted to keep and make it beautiful. Our partners in the transformation of the old one-stop shop site expect to begin the planning approval process for their project by the end of this year. When completed, this arts park will be home to a cultural center and a European-style marketplace. At the same time, the city is collaborating with the Downtown Development Authority to reimagine Huizenga Park. The park has become a special gathering place for decades, but it will become more spectacular with an updated Spirit of Fort Lauderdale fountain, a river overlook, a lush shade canopy, and a civic lawn, along with a dog run and, yes, a waterfront restaurant. We hope to break ground by early next year. Let's congratulate the DDA on that. You know, one thing I think this commission is most proud of is the incredible array of new amenities that we have. Residents have exciting new options for recreation and entertainment. These wonderful and amazing additions are helping brand our city as a great place to live. At the beginning of this year, we opened the renovated Aquatic Center. Have you all been out there? Yes. We built the state-of-the-art competition pools and one of the tallest dive towers in the world. I haven't been there. In fact, the city was recognized by the American Institute of Architects for the unique design of the tower. We also built new grandstands, locker rooms, and we just finalized a deal with the International Swimming Hall of Fame to reimagine its part of the property with new buildings, new amenities, and we're probably going to get an aquarium. So Prince Albert and Princess Charlene of Monaco were among the first people to see the new facility. Since then, the Aquatic Center has reclaimed its place as a destination for international and national swimming and diving competitions. We hosted the World Aquatics High Diving World Cup and the Pan American Artistic Swimming Championship. More events are on the horizon. Let me just take a pause and let's share this short video of the attention that we're getting with regard to the Aquatic Center. This is another amazing event here in our city. Once again, we're able to recognize the importance of family-friendly, visitor-friendly opportunities like this. So this beautiful new aquatic center keeps winning awards. Just today, we were recognized with the 2023 Sports Travel Award for Best or New Renovated Sports Venue. Congratulations. That's the fifth award this project has won. It's truly a triumph for the city. And just this past weekend, we were host to 13 Olympic champions who have won multiple medals in their particular sport, everywhere from swimming, diving, artistic swimming, all across 13 people with multiple medals, including Michael Phelps, who was here this past weekend. It's a great honor for our city to be able to welcome these folks, and it's because of this foresight that this community had in revitalizing this center that we're able to host people such as that, and that they're proud to be part and the connection to our city. But that's not all. As you all know, since this summer, one name has been mentioned worldwide over and over again in conjunction with our city. Huh? Fort Lauderdale's newest resident, Leo Messi, right? This Argentine soccer great joined the Inter Miami team and has now been drawing huge crowds to our new Drive Pink Stadium. The throngs of fans and worldwide publicity have proven just how successful the deal was that the city struck in 2019 with David Beckham and a group led by Jorge Mas to build the stadium. Leo Messi has ignited an unprecedented buzz about our city, and that will lead to an abundance of new economic opportunities and tourism business. Please remember just how good a deal we made. Inter Miami built a stadium, corporate headquarters, training facility, and youth camp at no cost to taxpayers. Rather, they invested $165 million and took the risk. Meanwhile, we still own the property and will keep reaping the benefits for years to come. But there are some loose ends that remain to be resolved. For example, they have now paid the permit fees that they owed the city. And together, the team and the city are moving ahead with plans for a public park on the site. Design work is underway, and we can soon look for a beautiful public space there at Lockhart Stadium. For Fort Lauderdale, the new aquatic center and the new soccer stadium are the beginning of a transformative process, not the end. For just 2 months from now, we will open a state-of-the-art sports facility featuring a pair of indoor ice skating rinks. The Florida Panthers hockey team has been building this incredible addition to our community in Holiday Park under a public-private partnership deal with the city, again, at no cost to the city taxpayers. One rink will cater to the public, while the other will be used for team practice. At the same time, the Panthers are underwriting a full-scale renovation of War Memorial Auditorium that should be completed by the middle of next year. The Panthers will operate it in conjunction with Live Nation and will return this venerable venue to its glory days with family-oriented shows and concerts. But the best part is the Panthers assumed the operational expense, saving the taxpayers as much as $1 million a year that it was costing the city to operate War Memorial. We have also inked a public-private partnership that will answer demands for more pickleball courts. This sport, will the pro pickleball people stay on this side of the net? This sport has dramatically taken off, and the city has been eager to keep up with the interest. A group called My Park Initiative stepped forward and agreed to build a pickleball center in an underused section of Snyder Park. When constructed, the site will have 42 courts, as well as a restaurant and a lakefront beach area. This is being done without touching the native growth section of the park, and so that we will not lose the value of the open space at Snyder Park. Finally, plans are underway to build a major movie studio operation on top of an old landfill site. Have you heard about that? This unique use of a brownfield will bring hundreds of jobs to our community, not just on the screen, but trade jobs. And there will be training opportunities on site to provide future career opportunities, particular to those in the underserved communities. Hopefully, this will revive South Florida as a destination for the production of film and TV programming. So look for announcements soon on that. But we all know one thing, that neighborhoods are the cornerstone of what makes Fort Lauderdale a great place to live. We continue to take steps to improve our quality of life. As you may remember, voters approved a $200 million parks improvement program in 2019. So far, $140 million in bonds have been issued and projects are underway in parks throughout the city. Also, in the new budget, the City Commission agreed to step up spending on new sidewalks to improve walkability. Yesterday's meeting, we even talked about floating a bond issue that would really take on the task of replacing and repairing all the sidewalks and adding new sidewalks throughout the city. We continue to replace older bridges, and we have toughened the standards for vacation rentals in response to continued exasperation from our residents. Yeah. We're working on it. We're working on it. We also hope to soon receive recommendations from a Blue Ribbon Committee regarding how to better regulate late-night noise, a concern of residents who live near our entertainment districts. We also banned smoking on the beach after the state gave us the authority to do so. So before we close, I wanted to discuss two significant initiatives that have been underway for decades but are now coming to an end. Through multiple mayors, the City Commission and city managers, we have worked diligently to redevelop the beachfront and the Northwest area. We've witnessed remarkable success with both endeavors. First, fueled by our redevelopment initiative, the beach has been transformed from a tawdry seasonal spring break haven to a world-class location that attracts a wide variety of visitors year-round, with many of the top hotel brands operating there. With the development and the establishment of the beach district, funds were invested in redefining the beach. Early work involved the realignment of A1A, the relocation of parking, and the reconstruction of the wave wall and beachside promenade. Since then, redevelopment funds have paid for such major projects as the construction of the picturesque Oceanside Park and the renovation of the aquatic center that I mentioned earlier. While the CRA has sunsetted, its final projects are still underway. DC Alexander Park is undergoing a transformation to offer a signature playground, elevated ocean overlook, terraced walls with landscaping, walking paths, and bathrooms. Bathrooms on the beach, imagine. We expect it to open the middle of next year. We're also improving the streetscape on A1A. There will be better pedestrian lighting and enhanced hardscape at the iconic intersection of A1A and Las Olas. That should be done by the end of this year. The city-funded improvements have not only attracted new hotels and more tourists, but it also helped generate other projects. The long-awaited opportunity to enhance the Las Olas Marina to attract larger and more yachts is finally happening. Work should be completed early next year on the state-of-the-art mega yacht facility that will include fine dining and boutique retail space. All of that thanks to a partnership with Suntex Marina. And then there's Bahia Mar. This gem on the Barrier Island and home to the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show kind of lost its luster over the years. But over the past year, the Commission has worked out terms with the developers to hold a long-term lease to create something that speaks to the future of Fort Lauderdale. We persuaded the developers to drop an aggressive overdevelopment of the property that a prior commission approved. The revised plan builds a new hotel, a marina village, and an intercoastal park with a waterfront promenade while drastically reducing the number of residential units that were first approved. We also worked out much better lease terms. The project is expected to bring about $1 billion to the city over the life of the deal. Along with the beach, the city's twin focus for decades has been the revitalization of the historic heart of the African American community. This redevelopment agency there is about to sunset as well. In 1995, the city created the redevelopment area that encompasses the Northwest as well as Progresso Village and Flagler Village, and has been spending specifically designated funds ever since to make improvements. Our strategic plans have focused on expanding economic opportunities and fostering a vibrant environment for businesses and residents. The healthy growth of Flagler Village has brought additional tax revenue that has allowed the city to pick up the pace of work in the Northwest and have many successes to show for it. One area of significance has been to nurture affordable housing. The redevelopment agency has also worked with home builders to construct and sell new single-family homes around the Sistrunk area. Another major undertaking has been to improve existing homes and businesses. The city also has been helping expand commercial and office opportunities in that area. We've improved lighting, landscaping, and transformed the corridor from a busy thoroughfare to a street more associated with a business district. And most significantly, we built the new L.A. Lee YMCA Mizell Community Center and have helped activate it to provide a host of services, including educational opportunities and health services. I'm very proud of that, and I think the city deserves a round of applause. And I see Mayor Seiler sitting in the front row here, and I just want to congratulate him on spearheading that effort. Thank you so much, Mayor Seiler. So with the city financed improvements, Sistrunk has begun to experience a rebirth as a bustling and exciting place for people to live, to work, while remaining true to its rich and important heritage. This is such an incredible time to live in our city. We are a city on the move, as I said, a growing and maturing city, a city that is taking its place on the world stage as a vibrant, diverse, and exciting community. We have built upon our best qualities and our history to become a truly remarkable place to call home. All cities have challenges, but we are meeting them head on as we move boldly forward. Let us continue to work together to listen to one another and to share with one another our hopes and our dreams for a better future. We are FTL.
We are FTL. We are FTL.
We are FTL.
We are FTL. We are FTL.
We are resilient.
We are inclusive.
We are the future.
We are FTL.
We are FTL, everybody. God bless you all, and may God bless America. And thank you for coming this evening to share in the future of our beautiful city. Thank you, everybody.